Rabbi Joshua Ladon is a teacher and the Israel Program Director and Rabbinic Advisor to Student Life at the Jewish High School of the Bay. Grounding his class in close reading and analysis of text, Rabbi Ladon finds deep satisfaction in watching his students grow and apply their learning. He says he feels blessed to have the opportunity to travel to Israel with his students. And as one of his students said, "I've discovered a world of intellectual Judaism that brings me happiness and purpose, and I plan to pursue it in college. I can confidently say that I never would have taken this path if it had not been for Rabbi Ladon." Congratulations.
It's an honor to be here tonight, and I want to offer my deepest gratitude to Helen and Sanford Diller, and to Jackie, to the Helen Diller Family Foundation, to the San Francisco Jewish Community Federation and Endowment Fund, as well as the East Bay and Silicon Valley Federations. I'm really humbled that my teaching has been found worthy of this award. As a relatively new teacher with a young family, it really allows me to continue my commitment to classroom teaching and to bringing Judaism into my home. Abraham Joshua Heschel spoke at a conference for Jewish educators in the 50s, and he looked at them and said something that's similarly important to say today, I think. The significance of Judaism does not lie in its being conducive to the survival of the people, but in its being a source of spiritual wealth and a source of meaning relevant to all peoples. Which is to say, as Jewish educators and as supporters of Jewish education, we have a responsibility for the soul of Judaism and the souls of the Jews. And it's through awards like this that the Helen Diller family demonstrates such a serious commitment to the betterment and the souls of the Jews. I'm able to teach because of all the people who have taught me. So I firstly need to thank my parents. My parents, Edward and Barbara Ladon, who live in Denver, so they couldn't be here tonight. They raised me in a home where dinner conversation moved seamlessly from healthcare policy to spirituality to psychology to Seinfeld episodes. It was a home in which curiosity and community and spiritual growth were at the center of our lives. And I also want to thank my wife, who also could not be here this evening. We have a very young child and trouble with babysitting sometimes. But she is, in her own right, a great educator. She also teaches at the Jewish Community High School of the Bay. And she works tirelessly to support and advocate on behalf of students with learning differences. And she's a great partner, friend, chevrutza, and mother. And I'm a better person because of her and because of our partnership. And I also want to thank my teachers and my students. You heard from Zoe Morgan-Wyman, who all of my students are like that, so it's really easy to do my job. My first job in the Jewish world was at age 14 as a teaching assistant in my synagogue, and since then I've just added a lot of mentors and teachers, and had many, and I've collected their wisdom and their guidance, and it's been really wonderful. And I'm particularly indebted to the Conservative Yeshiva in Jerusalem and the Shalom Hartman Institute in Jerusalem for my many years of Torah study there. And finally, I'm blessed to teach at a school that's really dedicated to the betterment of the Jewish people, that's committed to serious study of Jewish texts and ideas, and that recognizes that both teachers and students have room to grow and need to grow. There's this famous Baraita in the Talmud that I love. Yossi ben Yehuda used to specify the distinctive merits of the various sages. So he said Rabbi Meir was wise and a scribe. Rabbi Yehuda was wise when he desired to be. Rabbi Tarfon was a heap of nuts. Rabbi Ishmael was a well-stocked shop. Rabbi Akiva was a storehouse with compartments. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri was a basket of fancy goods. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was a basket of spices. The teaching of Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov was little, but it was good. Rabbi Yossi always had his reasons, and Rabbi Shimon used to grind much and let only a little out. So while we're probably all wish we were like Rabbi Meir, who was wise and a scribe, many of us are much more like Rabbi Yehuda, who was wise only when he desired to be. And this reminds us that the rabbis of the Talmud learned and thought in different ways. And so too, we must make our classrooms havens for Torah learning of different stripes and flavors. We must draw together Jews who think differently and who act differently in pursuit of a better world. And what's so powerful about the Jewish Community High School community is that it draws upon so many of the communities and schools and synagogues and other places of learning that are represented here, and that these learning differences, these thinking differences, they're not stumbling blocks, but foundations upon which we can build a greater Torah. It's there that Torah is made great and the Jewish people are strengthened. I think that being a part of this award is a demonstration that there are many in the Jewish community of San Francisco Bay Area that are committed to such a world where Torah is made great and the world is made greater. So thank you very much.